November 2022, quantitative research methods. So section A is multiple choice. A researcher divides the population in different parts and fixes the number of units from each of the parts that are to be included in the sample. This method of sampling by the researcher is called stratified, cluster, quarter, all of the above, none of the above. Axon Annie Estrida. Please, let's be fast. We've
Stratified.
stratified, correct.
Stratified.
A researcher is interested in studying the prospects of a particular political party in the urban area. What tool will he or she use for the study? Questionnaire, rating scale, interview, focus group, none of the above.
Questionnaire.
Questionnaire, reason? The population size will be big. You can't use an interview.
Okay.
So it's questionnaire, correct. Okay. Yeah, we say stratified. Are we following? I need to give some. So reliability of a research result implies its verifiableness, uniqueness, usefulness, validity, none of the above.
Verifiability.
Yes,
Validity.
verifiability. Okay. Which of the following process is not needed in experiment research design? Observation.
Collection.
Which one?
Reference collection.
Reference collection. That's correct. A research problem is not feasible only when it consists of independent and dependent variables, it is researchable, it has utility and reference, it is new and adds something to knowledge, none of the above.
None of the above.
A research problem is not feasible only when it consists of dependent and independent.
It has utility and actually it's
It
not
is-
feasible.
Pardon?
It's not.
The research problem is not feasible only when it is researchable. Considerable is as it is general.
When is a research problem not feasible? Okay, you can rule out. Is a research problem feasible when it consists of dependent variables? When it's researchable? When it has utility and relevance? When it is new and adds something to the knowledge? When is it not feasible?
None of
I
the
think it's
above.
feasible when it has all of them, so it's none of the above.
None of the above. Which type of questions are asked during a research interview? Closed-ended, neutral, open-ended, puzzling, none of the above.
Open-ended.
Open-ended.
Mm.
For the population with a finite size, which
I
of the
couldn't hear
following
you. I don't know whether it was just my network. On question 6, I couldn't hear you.
which type of questions are asked during a research interview? Closed-ended, neutral, open-ended, puzzling, none of the above. It's open-ended.
Okay, thanks.
For the population with a finite size, which of the following sampling method is generally used? Cluster, area,
Cluster.
purposive, systematic, none.
Systematic.
It's what?
I said systematic. I don't know if it's correct.
Systematic. Why do you say so? That's correct, but why do you say so? Because
I think, oh,
uh-huh. You can try.
I can try. I think it's because you have a particular number in place. Let's
Uh-huh.
say you have 100, so you can
Uh-huh.
easily divide,
Yes.
and you know to say maybe after every 10 people you pick one, just like that. So you have the number in mind, so you can easily use it.
Okay. So it's systematic. You have a number, maybe 100, so you pick every 10th.
Accountable, like
Accountable.
accountable population.
All right. In SPSS, what is the data viewer? Okay, a table showing the frequencies of data for one variable, a spreadsheet into which data is entered, a dialog box that allows you to choose a statistical test, a screen in which variables can be defined and labeled, none of the above.
A
It's a
spreadsheet into which
spreadsheet.
data can be entered.
B.
B. Okay, so which viewers are there in SPSS?
There's data view and variable viewer.
View.
So what does the data viewer do?
This is where you enter the data.
Uh-huh. And variable viewer.
Where you enter the data, and then the variable view, this is where you enter the variables and label them.
So the data viewer, you just enter and view the data. Okay. So we have rows, we have columns. So you used to view. All right. Then the purpose of the variable view, you want to define the properties of each variable in the data set. So here, what was our answer?
B.
B.
It's B.
So question 9, the aims of research are verification, fact-finding, theoretical development, all of the above, none of the above.
All.
All
All
of
the
the
above.
All of the
All
above,
the
correct.
above.
Yeah, dangerously very knowledgeable. Okay, this is very good. To generate a Pearson's R score, which of the instructions should you give in the SPSS? Analyze, cross tabs, descriptive statistics, Pearson, okay. Graphs, frequencies, select variables, Pearson's, then okay. Analyze, correlate, by variate, select variables, Pearson's, then okay. Analyze, compare means, ANOVA table, first layer, Pearson's, okay, then none of the above.
It's C. Analyze, correlate, and derivate, whatever. I think this one I've just mastered. I don't even understand.
It's C. All the others feel she just mastered it. From where?
From the notes you gave us, from those notes.
Okay. Are we agreeing?
Yes.
C. So then 11, what is a major attribute of correlation analysis? A, association among variables. B, difference among variables. C, regression among variables. D, variations among variables. And E, none of the above.
A, association among variables.
Association among variables. Yes, correlation measures what? The
Yes.
strength and direction in a linear relationship or association between two continuous variable. But we know correlation does not imply causation. It's just the strength. Okay? So, what was the answer? A.
A,
What is the name of the conceptual framework in which the research is carried out? Research hypothesis, synopsis of research, um, research design, research paradigm, none of the above. What is the name of the conceptual framework in which the research is carried out? Research hypothesis, synopsis of research, research design, research paradigm, none of the above. Those that have been spoken.
Research design.
Why do you say so? Others are completely lost.
I'm leaning towards research paradigm.
I'm thinking synopsis of research.
Who said research design?
I think it's research design.
So the
It
answer
was
is
me.
research design.
I'm also thinking of research design because
Mhm. Because yeah, the research design
yeah,
from a
the reason why I was thinking of
uh-huh.
research design is because the research design will outline maybe I would say the process on how you do your research. So basically, it will tell you on how your research will be carried out.
Okay. So
What is a research paradigm?
that's a good question. I was getting to that. So a research hypothesis is simply a testable specific prediction about the relationships in the variables. So that one just tells you how the variables are interconnected. A research synopsis is just a summary or outline of research. It is not a framework itself, just an outline. A paradigm is a set of beliefs and assumptions that will guide how the research is conducted. So it simply shapes the researcher's worldview that constitutes a valid knowledge and how you come to know. It determines what is being researched there and how it's going to be conducted. Okay? So research design gives you a structural plan on how the research will be done in the entire process. So the answer is C. How is random sampling helpful? Reason be accurate, an economical method of data collection, free from personal biases, all of the above, none of the above.
Oh,
Random sampling, is it accurate? Is it economically viable? Is it free from bias? Is it all or none?
All of the above?
I
All
I
of the
think
all
it's
above.
of
all
them.
about.
Yes. How is a variable name different from variable label? It is shorter and less detailed, longer and more detailed, abstract and specific, refers to code rather than variables, none of the above.
It is shorter and less detailed.
Okay.
It is shorter and less detailed. So variable name. So when dealing with variable name, you can only put one then variable label, it can be a sentence or the entire question itself. Are we together? Okay. Question number 15. Which among the following statements is true of hypothesis testing? It's the only alternative hypothesis that can be tested. It is the only null hypothesis that can be tested. Both alternative and null hypothesis can be tested. Both alternative and the null hypothesis cannot be tested. None of the above. Which one is true about hypothesis testing?
B.
It's only
It's
the
only
null
the null.
hypothesis that can be.
B. Can the alternative hypothesis be tested?
Can only be measured and observed.
Yeah, unobservable measure. Okay, which of the following does not correspond to the characteristic of scientific research? Which one is not corresponding? Okay, not passive, it is systematic, not problem oriented, it is not a process, none of the above. So here it was some grammar that you need to rectify. Uh-huh. Which one?
D. Research is not a process.
So what are the characteristics of scientific research? Scientific
Objectivity.
research
It is
we know
data
is,
driven. It is data driven.
yes,
Can be replicated.
uh-huh,
It is structured
uh-huh,
and systematic.
yes. It is structured, systematic, it's objective, it's verifiable, it's empirical, it's logical, it's predictive. Okay. So now the question I was asking us now, which one does not correspond? Is A correct? It is not passive. Research is systematic. This is correct. So this cannot be. Research is not problem oriented. This is correct. So it cannot be. So what answer did you say?
I said research is not a process.
Okay. Why do you say so?
An intelligent guess.
What are the others saying?
I agree, because research is a process. So the notice is what's qualifying it as the best answer. Belief?
So D. How is the depth of
Yes.
any research study judged? By title, research duration, research objectives, total expenditure on research, none of the above.
The research objectives.
Research objectives. A research problem is feasible only when it has utility and relevance, it is new and adds something to knowledge, it is researchable, all of the above, none of the above.
Oh,
All the above.
We had a similar question like this one. Which of the following statements is correct in the context of research? Research refers to a series of systematic activity or activities undertaken to find out the solution of a problem. Research is a systematic, logical, and biased process wherein verification of hypotheses, data analysis, interpretation, and formation of principles can be done. An intellectual inquiry or quest towards truth. It enhances knowledge. Select the correct answer given the codes below. A, B, C, and D. A, B, C, B, C, D, A, C, D, none of the above. So which ones are correct?
A.
A is correct. Which one else is correct?
Yes.
Because the minimum is 3 for mutual equivalence. So A is correct. Quickly,
D is also correct.
D is correct.
B is also correct.
B is also correct.
I'm thinking C is also correct.
Hold on. Let me-
C is also correct. So you're saying the answer is all of the above. Are we agreeing?
Yes.
Yes, they're all correct. Coming in different dimensions. Lastly, but not the least, multiple choice. What are the core elements of a dissertation? Introduction, data collection, analysis and presentation, conclusions and recommendations. Introduction, literature review, methodology, data analysis and presentation, conclusions and recommendations. Executive summary, literature review, data analysis, presentation, conclusion and bibliography. Research plans, research data analysis, presentation, and references. This one was easy. So which one is correct?
B.
Which one?
B.
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 Yes.
It's
B.
B.
C?
B. No, B.
B.
Let's see chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. Sometimes discussion is split in chapter 5 and chapter 6 at master's level. So this is correct. Okay, so what is confusing with section A? Generally, what are your observations with section A? Multiple choice questions.
Sometimes they show like there are similar answers. They tend to confuse.
Okay. There are similar
I
answers.
think also the grammar, the way the questions are worded, like the grammar.
The grammar in there. Okay. But all in all, if you've carefully gone through the units with me, do you see that this is very manageable? Huh?
Uh, my question is it possible she can repeat the questions?
No. She has about 200, more than 200, 500 questions where she gets this. So them were already in the test that will be repeated. So she gets from those ones. So um I had sent you all these questions where the multiple choice come from, I think. But all in all, it's understanding the context. Okay? of these questions. So they cannot, some might be repeated, others, but there are many. So she will choose randomly which ones to bring. So when you're given a case study, so like I said, a case study will always be brought. In section B, you need to choose any four. So you'll be given something to study. I'm not going to go through this because my second session, I'll be looking at case studies. Okay, in this first session, my target was just to look at short worded answers as well as the structure of how the exams will come in. Then my third session will now be looking at what I prepared to just prepare you on what you can look at. Okay, so where's that paper? The 2024 paper. Okay, 2024 paper, yeah. So the multiple choice as well as the short word answer are more or less the same. So if you haven't done your homework in understanding research, then it will be a problem for you. Okay, this was last year's paper. This one we're just from looking at, isn't it? Okay, any concerns or some opening the 2024 paper? Where
On
does the confusion?
SPSS, are there some brief notes somewhere just relating to what
Yes.
is asked about or usually asked about?
Yes, I had given some brief notes on SPSS. I'll give you some notes. So last year's paper,
Thank you.
there was no multiple choice. Okay. The qualitative, this was from the 2017 paper, it was repeated. This 2020 paper. So all these came from Dr. Lumbe's previous paper. So like I said, he always repeats from his questions that he used to ask the qualitative 700 B. So all these came from there. So if we're going to look at the other paper which he didn't bring, we'll replicate exactly what may come tomorrow. So I'll look at the 20, just a qualitative paper of his own. Okay. Okay, so now next session we'll look at SPSS questions, related questions. Then we'll look at um, conceptual frameworks and research designs, how to match these questions. Then the last question, we'll look at the miracle kit. Okay, so I'll be sending the link just shortly.